Scorpio is potentially the most sought out sign when it comes to dating
and sex.
Yeah, I'm looking at you. I know what you're here for. Just kidding, just kidding. Hola, my beautiful lotus flowers. Welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're into nerding out on everything astrology, spirituality, and self-transformation, this is a community for you. Today is all about dating and compatibility for the Scorpio sun sign. If you know somebody or if you are somebody that has a Scorpio rising or Scorpio moon, this can still kind of help you figure out what energy you may be compatible with. But just remember that this is focusing on the Scorpio sun sign. We're going to start off by talking about 5 of the most important traits I think everyone should know if they're looking to date a Scorpio sun sign. Then we're going to follow it up with 3 of the best zodiac matches that I personally believe could go really well with a Scorpio sun sign. But please keep in mind that this is just an opinion. This is just for fun. This is not the end all be all. If you're a Scorpio, these are not the only 3 signs that you'd be compatible with. And if you are any of those 3 signs, it doesn't mean that you'll be compatible with a Scorpio. So there's a lot of energies at play in our birth chart that we obviously cannot cover in this video, and it may change the dynamic between 2 people a lot. But we're just focusing on sun sign compatibility for today's video. Here are the 5 most important traits that you should know if you're trying to date a Scorpio sun sign. The first thing that you should know is that Scorpio sun signs have some of the greatest emotional depth and passion for the things they love, and is probably one of the most passionate people you'll ever meet. But they only show that side to a very select amount of people. Although Scorpios tend to have a lot of emotional turbulence happening within them, a lot of people will never know unless you've actually gained a really close spot to them and you have a very intimate relationship with them. They show that side to very few because privacy and security is very important to them when it comes to their emotions. They don't like to feel like they're handing over power to anybody by showcasing their emotions to people. With that being said, they often come off as being very well composed or not showing their true feelings on a matter because of the simple fact that they don't like to seem too vulnerable around people that they don't fully trust. This is also a huge defense mechanism for Scorpio sun sign because oftentimes they know themselves well, they know how deeply they feel, they know how super loyal they can become once they care about somebody. So they're going to kind of keep this wall up between them and others in hopes that they're preventing any unnecessary heartbreak. Number 2 is that Scorpios expect their partner to be like 1 trillion% devoted to them and only them, or else there are going to be problems. Like we mentioned in the first point, Scorpios have a really hard time opening up to people and are super selective about those that they do open up to, especially in a romantic way. So if they actually do find somebody that they trust and love in that way, then they're going to give it their all and be super, super loyal, and they're going to definitely expect the same from their partner. The Scorpio sun signs often do act and feel in extreme manners. They'll be acting either very happy or very sad, whatever it is. So when it comes to a relationship, they will be giving you their absolute all of their love, all of their heart, their devotion. But the second they don't feel like that's being reciprocated, they'll be quick to draw back and become cold-shouldered again. Because of this, they maintain very, very high standards for the person that they end up with. They're not going to be with just anybody because intimacy is so important to them. Third, Scorpios don't really care to be dominated or bossed around by anybody. And if they do let anybody get to a point of being able to kind of tell them what to do or give them advice on certain things, it's probably because, again, it's somebody they actually let into their intimate space and they fully trust. But even in this case, there are usually boundaries that the Scorpio has with how far they're willing to let somebody have power over them or boss them around or tell them what to do. A big reason for this is because they are the fixed water sign, meaning that they tend to be pretty persistent and reliable, yet quite stubborn when they're set in their ways on something. So this also means that if you're trying to be with a Scorpio, then not only will they not really care to be bossed around, but a lot of times they are very resilient once they set their sights on something that they really, really want. So oftentimes, instead of letting you tell them that maybe that's not a good idea, they often have to figure that out themselves, because most likely they're going to go for it anyways, and they're not going to like hearing you try to put down their ideas or what they want to do. Fourth, you should definitely know that Scorpios will be one of the most honest, authentic, ride or die partners you could ever end up with. Scorpios are known for absolutely valuing 100% honesty and authenticity in their personal relationships, so especially with their partner. Not only do they value it, they're probably going to know if you're trying to get something past them, because they have a very good intuitive radar when people are lying or not being fully themselves in some way. They have extreme mental strength and resilience that really makes them the type of partner you would love to have when you're in a hard situation, because they're going to have the resilience to make it through the situation with you and overcome whatever obstacles come your way. And on top of that, if for some reason you're not able to hold yourself up, they're definitely the type of person that can often take the lead and take the reins when you're maybe not in a position to do so yourself. And they will help pick you up, throw them on their back, and get you guys through the situation that you're going through. As long as you're not the type of person that thinks that you can sit around and lie to the Scorpio and do shady stuff like that, then you're gonna love having them as a partner. The fifth thing you should know about Scorpio sun signs is that they are extremely sexual individuals. Yeah, I know, probably like everybody says this, every article you read, every video you watch says this about Scorpio sun signs, but you really cannot mention it if you're talking about Scorpios. You really can't. But we're not going to just talk about the fact that they desire the physical act of sex, because with Scorpios being a water sign and being as deep and authentic as they are, they value the experience of sex as much as just the physical, pleasurable aspect of it. Out of bed, Scorpios have that watery aspect to their personality that makes them want to have really deep, complex conversations with people that they enjoy, especially their romantic partner. So in the bed, they also want to have really deep and intricate experiences, just like you're having a conversation with them. One of the ways that Scorpios conversate with their partner is actually through the act of having intimate affection or sex with them. Scorpios are definitely willing to show you a ton of physical affection in so many different forms. But if they see that you don't seem to be too interested in your guys' sex life, or you just don't really make the effort like they do, then they're gonna be quick to be turned off by this. If you are a Scorpio watching this or interested in a Scorpio, be sure you leave your comment down below so I know that you're here watching. And before you forget, and before we continue, be sure that you are hitting the like button for me, hitting subscribe, and hitting the bell. Thank you. Now it's time to talk about the 3 best zodiac matches that I find could potentially go well with a Scorpio sun sign. The first sign that may go well with a Scorpio is Capricorn, the goat. Let's start off with the fact that Capricorn is an extremely grounded and persistent and reliable earth sign, which is extremely compatible with someone as resilient, persistent, ambitious, and emotional as a Scorpio, because the Capricorn can really help keep them grounded without interfering with their ambition. They're really going to make kind of a well-balanced power couple in a way. In addition to that, both signs usually have a very low tolerance for people who are unpredictable or flaky in their relationships. So because of that, that means that they share common values that are super important to their happiness in the relationship. And a bonus for the Scorpio is that the Capricorn also really appreciates being more private and low-key and doesn't really like putting themselves out there all the time. And obviously this is going to depend on the rising and moon signs and other placements as well. But for the most part, at their core, Capricorns and Scorpios both value a lot of privacy and don't like putting all their business out there. The only friction that they may have is because of the fact Capricorn isn't really the most emotional sign, and the Capricorn may not show as much love and affection and sexuality towards the Scorpio as the Scorpio desires. But on the other hand, Scorpios are really good at pulling that desire and that trait out of their partner and bringing it more to the surface. So as long as these two have patience with each other and the Capricorn is willing to kind of fold for the Scorpio, then these two can find a really happy middle ground in the relationship. The second sign that I could see going well with Scorpio is Cancer the crab. Cancers can tend to be the more controlling, dominating one in the relationship just because they are a cardinal sign, which means they're a natural leader. But Scorpios are so resilient, persistent, and just powerful in their presence in general that they are oftentimes one of the only signs that can kind of take the reins from Cancer, but Cancer is also willing to let Scorpio take the reins, and they really kind of have that trust in each other to handle the relationship or take the lead in situations where both of them might have problems handing over the reins to other people. They feel okay doing it with each other. Cancers are literally all about loyalty. You add Scorpio to the equation, which is the most ride or die partner you could possibly have, but only if their partner is reciprocating that loyalty. So that means that they hold an extremely strong common value that matters a lot to both zodiac signs, and this is gonna bring a really healthy dynamic, definitely a healthy mental and emotional dynamic as well to the relationship. One piece of trouble they might run into is that Cancer can be a bit more dependent on their partner's attention and affection, whereas Scorpios can be quite independent and not really think about it. They do need more alone time and whatnot. So as long as these two learn each other and the Cancer doesn't get too offended and take the Scorpio's nature to heart, and as long as the Scorpio is communicating with the Cancer about the fact that they need alone time to be happy, then these two shouldn't have any problems. The third best zodiac match that I think would go well with the Scorpio is Pisces the fish. I personally believe that this has potential to be one of the most well-balanced matches for a Scorpio sun sign because they tend to complement each other really well. Whereas Pisces are the adaptable fish, meaning that they oftentimes are kind of going with the flow, living from a place of love and passion with a oftentimes very deep, empathetic, and sensitive nature. Scorpio is the water sign that they still have the extreme emotional depth and mysticism that can understand a Pisces, but they oftentimes have the mental capacity, the mental sharpness, and the resilience that Pisces can sometimes need in a partner to make it through tough situations or pull them out of their heads. Now, for any of my Pisces watching this, and trust me on this, I am a Pisces as well. I'm not saying that we're just damsels in distress that need to be saved by Scorpio, but because of Pisces' mutable nature and the tendency to be quite dreamy and maybe a little bit too idealistic sometimes, the Scorpio is great because oftentimes Pisces needs somebody who are able to be a primary leader in the relationship. That being said, Pisces are oftentimes quite naturally wise and mature, and this gives them a lot of the patience and empathy they need in order to work through obstacles with a Scorpio, because Scorpios can be pretty emotionally wild compared to a Pisces. Pisces are quite sensitive, but again, they have kind of the more calmness, the more wise aspect to them, whereas Scorpios are kind of not afraid to go crazy if they feel the need. The one thing that can lead to a lot of drama and toxicity in this relationship is if These are, underdeveloped versions of the signs because Pisces could easily become manipulated by the Scorpio, or the Scorpio can be tempted to manipulate the Pisces. And if there is this dynamic, then obviously it's going to make for an extremely emotionally abusive relationship. So for either signs, this is something to make sure you're watching out for if you're interested in a Pisces or interested in a Scorpio. Be sure you are hopping over to the LaBlue Lotus Facebook community if you haven't already, where we talk more about astrology, spirituality, and using those for self-transformation. And on top of that, be sure that you like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell if you didn't earlier. You can also head over to Instagram and follow me at Marisa LaBlue, and watch these videos if you haven't already, because they will help you so much on your astrological and spiritual journey. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until next time, adios.